Hello everyone, my name is Jamal Malik, and I am going to give you a little bit of background on business process modeling notation language and also some history on business process management altogether. So I'm going to try to do this in 5 minutes and we're going to jump right in. So a little bit of history on business process management. One of the more popular or older business process methodologies that you may have heard of is called Lean. It came from Toyota, and it's really about removing waste from a process, and it's a manufacturing process. And essentially the principle behind that is every step in a process should add value to the product or offering that is being produced. The second type of methodology is Six Sigma. Six Sigma is also a manufacturing process optimization methodology, but it's more focused on increasing quality. And the magic number here, I believe, is 3.4 defects to 1 million. The third process or methodology is actually called business process management. This is more focused on optimizing business processes, but what these three things have in common is that each one of them look at a as-is state of a process, depict it in a visual way, then create a to-be process, and then implement the improvements within production and then monitor to see how effective it is. Now, I'll also talk about something really quickly called the theory of constraints. Now, this is something that's really important because the idea behind the three constraints is actually threefold. Number one, a organization is only as efficient as its least efficient component, or is only as productive or successful as its least productive or efficient component. Number two, a system can only have one bottleneck at a time. And number three is you fix that bottleneck and you monitor to see how it affects the system, and then you move on to fixing the next bottleneck. Now, why is that important? Well, in our roles, in my role specifically, I do a lot of business process, let's call it engineering. Now, the thing to point out here is business process engineering is also another methodology that's focused on re-engineering processes. It's not very successful, unfortunately. It's been met with a lot of resistance in the last decade because what organizations have found out is it's much easier to make small tweaks to existing processes to improve them rather than re-engineering or introducing net new processes altogether. Now, what I want to do really quickly is talk about the language in which you can express business processes, and that is called Bpmn. We're going to use business process modeling notation language. And what's really cool is within Visio, there is an actual template called Bpmn. So if you open up your Visio program, you can pick a new document to be created with this Bpmn basically template. Now this is what it looks like. We're going to create one really quickly, and I'll show you how easy it is to get up and start running with this in a very short amount of time. So the main thing you need to think about, number one, is that there really aren't that many different items that you need to deal with. The first and most important thing and concept you should learn is this concept of a swim lane. A swim lane is something that is specific to a persona or a group. If you put multiple swim lanes together, what you get is basically a pool. And what we're going to do is we're going to create multiple swim lanes within this pool, and then we are going to start building a very quick process. And let's call this brushing our teeth. Now, the thing that's cool about this process, or this way to depict processes, is that you can also track systems. So let's say here's me, here's my alarm, and then here is maybe the drawer in my the cupboard in my bathroom that has my toothbrush. But anyway, just to do this really quickly, just an example. The process starts with maybe my alarm being set off. Now, you'll notice that a process always starts with a start event that's represented by this small circle. Then there are these actual tasks. And let's say the alarm goes off. Okay? And then the next thing that might happen is I might decide to either hit the snooze button or get up. And that's a decision that I have to make. So get up, hit snooze. And you can already see that the diamond is a decision point that needs to be made. So as you can see, as I build out this process, I've got tasks and I've got decisions that need to be made, and I can connect the tasks through these different lines. And here I can say if I get up, I will, let's say, go to the bathroom, and but if I hit snooze, I can say hit snooze on the alarm clock. You see how there's different paths to this process potentially, and you can represent them here. I'm not going to fill this whole thing out, but essentially you get the idea that I need to interact with the system. There's the drawer that I have to work with to get my toothbrush out, and I can track the entire process of brushing my teeth in this way. And then when I'm done, I basically have to have an end event. Now, what's cool about this is that it's actually very simple, and the true test of a Bpmn diagram, if it basically is if it's consumable by someone who is either A, not familiar with the process, number one, or two, not familiar with the language. It should be something that's consumable and understandable by a layman. So that's basically it. There are start events, there are stop events, there are tasks, and there are decisions. That has been the bite-sized Bpmn crash course training.